Ladies and gentlemen, what we got here? We have a Redmax GZ5000, which is the same thing as a Husqvarna 545 Mark I, or the Jonsered, even really the same thing as the Jonsered 2252. Okay, if you watch the channel, you know that I have one of these and love it, but this one is not mine. This one right here is an Echo 4910 without the top handle, just because that's the way it was shipped in the box. That's how he got it to fit in the box. I have the top handle. Anyways, both of these saws are going to get built right here, right now by me, at least starting right now. I like to take my sweet ass time when porting. I just do. It's me. It's my personality. So I'll probably break them both down today and then go back at it and port them tomorrow and stuff. But the first thing on the docket is to actually dye some plastics, because both of these gentlemen want some plastic dyed. And both of these saws are very minimal use. I mean, like near brand new, but they have been ran. So this one right here was sent to me by Chris. All right, Chris wants me to make a Thunder Kitten for him. Now, the thing with the Thunder Kitten is that my Thunder Kitten, which is an Echo 4910, was built by Charlie Briscoe. Charlie has massive experience with these things. My God, he's built a lot of them. And this will be, you know, my version of what I can do. I've never ported one of these saws before. So, not sure which direction I'm going to go. I'll have to break into it and have a look-see. I do know that this one right here, he took some material off the base, but he did not take material out of the squish. So, there's that. I also know that this, according to things that he has dynoed, I say this saw right here, I meant my Thunder Kitten. He never cut the squish on it. He only cut the base. But he has several that he has actually cut the squish on. And man, he's got, I think the one with the most power, he's gotten, I think, 7.4 horsepower out of one of these 50cc saws. I am not shooting for that whatsoever, not even close. The gentleman that's going to use this is going to be looking for a saw that he can work and use. Or at least, honestly, I'm assuming he asked me to make a Thunder Kitten, so I'm going to make it like my Thunder Kitten. And my Thunder Kitten, I know the way that it was built, and it did not have the squish cut on it. It is just a good, solid, very powerful 50cc saw. So that's what I'm going to shoot for with this, and we'll see what I come up with. But out of the way here. Now, for this guy. This one, I actually found this and purchased it. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace. Came as you see it. And good Lord, it looks absolutely ridiculously brand new. But it has been ran, and I have fired it up and ran it. But that's it. I mean, you know, I just fired it up and ran it, and that was it. That's all I did. I didn't put it in the wood or anything. But someone has put it in the wood. We see some sawdust in there in the side cover. But, yeah, we're going to go with it and just port it. Have at it, you know. Now, if you're watching this and you're hearing what I'm saying and you're going, wait a minute, you've never actually tried it out, Bodie? Isn't that risky? Yeah, it is. But it fired right up. It definitely needed a tune. And, you know, with these, you just hold it wide open while you're doing a light, steady cut. Just a very, very light, steady cut with the chain on the wood, and they set. But I feel certain it's going to be fine. There we go. Ooh. There we go. All right, now there is a little bit of camera trickery. I have already had this off. It had stickers on there and there was oil all over it, so I needed to clean it up. But to look right in the video, I put it back on. So I removed the stickers off the side here and I cleaned it up really good in soapy water. You want all that oil residue to get off of there. And now we're going to take them and we're going to dump them just like this. I leave this assembly, I leave it in place and everything. And I leave the sticker on there. It doesn't come off, it doesn't get harmed. Leave this sticker on there, it doesn't come off, doesn't get harmed. I'll go ahead and I'll take this, this knob right here off just because. Come on. There we go. And we're going to dump it into the die. All right, so I got them both broke down now, and I wanted to just take a look at the differences. There we go. First up, let's take a look at this. Massive, massive difference in the oils. Now, I can only assume what oils were being ran in these two saws, but I think very clearly this one right here, well, it has gas still in it, and the gas is blue. So my guess is this is going to have the Husqvarna oil in it. I believe the Husqvarna oil is blue. But look how dry it is. Let me see if I can roll this around. I can't. These pistons are different. This whole setup is different. But anyways, look at the piston itself. All right. You just see how it looks. Yeah, it's got some oil on there, but not much. The crank has next to nothing on it. Whereas over here, this is how I pulled this thing apart. All right. That is very clearly going to be red armor. And that piston is coated with it. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Chris, good job on running the red armor, or at least a good oil. The crankcase does seem to be pretty dry too on this, but not that bad. Not as bad as the other one. You can still see everywhere it's shiny. There's literally oil pulled up in the crankcase. And it's all over the piston there. So, there you go. Run good oils, guys. Run good oils. Set those over out of the way for a sec. There we go. Let's do it right. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, the next up, I want to look at the cylinders. They go about things very differently on these two 50cc saws. All right, very different. Look at that. Wait a minute. Intake, intake. What? This looks like something from like Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Predator. You know, that's crazy, you know, or I don't know. It looks like a stormtrooper or something. Basic intake. So that's it, you know, this is an X-Torque design saw, Strato design saw, whatever you want to call it. The pistons are pretty much the same size, but I believe this has a 44 or 45 millimeter piston. .44, all right. Whereas this one, I believe, has a 43 millimeter piston. Yep, 43. So, why is that important? Well, what we have been seeing here recently is kind of a trend. I believe Husqvarna is setting the trend, and it's working. The trend is longer stroke, smaller bore. The Echo 590 does that as well, but nobody is actually talking about that thing like it's fast. Talking about it like it has torque. Has a really long stroke and a really small bore. So anyways, I guess just I want to point that out. The trend seems to be overstroking and under bore for the better performance. I believe the 572 is the same way. I believe it has the same stroke as a 592, but I am not 100% certain on any of that. So we'll just let that drop. But the point is there's not many people arguing that the fastest 50cc saws for the past, I don't know, 10 years probably has been the Husqvarna 550, which is what this Redmax is, basically. You know, the little minor differences here and there, you know. But, and they have a smaller bore and a longer stroke. Now, this Echo 4910 is an excellent saw, especially if you want to stay away from the auto-tune stuff. Now, my Thunder Kitten, ported by Charlie, will barely beat, but it will beat my Redmax 5000 with a muffler mod. And that's all that's been done to it. I have ported a 545 in the past, but back then I was incapable of cutting the squish. I wasn't set up to cut the squish. So on this one here, I'm going to be able to cut the squish. All right, so we're going to be able to see how much of a difference that makes. Will it be able to take this thing? Will this thing be able to beat Charlie Briscoe's 4910 that he built for me? And, you know, just having some fun here. And honestly, take it all with a grain of salt because, you know, I like performance. I like to get as much performance as possible out of stuff. However, at the end of the day, does the saw start up and run good? That's number one. And I think that both of these saws can be made to produce more power than they put out stock and still remain very, very, very reliable. So take a look at the squish in there. See that nice squish band all around the edges? That's really nice. This is the Redmax. The Echo doesn't have that. It's got more of a great big open combustion chamber. So I'll probably cut that squish band too. Probably. But yeah, another thing to point out here is the intake, right? The transfers on this. You go in right here, down into the bottom, and then up into the front over here by the exhaust. And it comes through here. You even have this weird opening hole there. I mean, it's not open, but it's like you can, it's a little tunnel that goes to nowhere. And if you were to cut these out too much, then you would cut into that tunnel that goes into nowhere and you'd have a big leak. So you got to watch out with stuff like that. Weird. I don't know the purpose in having the fuel come all the way from over here down up into the front, then back, loop back around before it goes in to your cylinder, into the top of your cylinder. It seems to me kind of counterproductive, but clearly it works. This one right here, the fuel goes into your crankcase and straight back up, bam, and it comes out of your transfers right here. So it has a lot less distance to travel, which seems more productive. You know, it seems like it would work better to me, but I don't know. Anyways, just two different saws. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, you know, two different saws, wildly different designs. And this one, as far as no porting is concerned, this thing is hot right out of the box. This is a really, really, really hot setup right out of the box. All you got to do is muffler mod it. All right. This one is pretty lame right out of the box. I mean, they run good. They're fine, you know, but nothing special. Nothing special at all. I would probably give the nod to a Husqvarna 353. You know, just out of the box, nothing special. With a muffler mod, that's a little bit better, obviously. But then you got to get in there, man, and you do some work. Whenever you do, these things really come alive. Really. I didn't measure it because I felt like it was pointless, because I felt pretty positive that I'm going to cut some on that squish. And but what I will say is I do know that these, like all of the other Echoes, are running a very large squish clearance, quench clearance. Anyways, so it's going to have to get dropped down pretty significantly. This one right here, if you just took that gasket away, it would probably give you 20 thousandths squish. But I'm definitely going to be cutting on the squish band on this one. Anyways, that's enough for this video. Whole lot of nothing. But oh, hey, while I got you, let's check on the plastic. It's been in there probably about 40 minutes. Probably. Well, would you look at that? It's black. My goodness. How did that happen? Yeah. So, go ahead and put them back in there for just a little bit longer, just because. And then take them out, clean them up, and that'll be ready to go. Oh, and I failed to mention, I think earlier, the Redmax is going to a gentleman out in California named Forrest. Pretty fitting for somebody who likes chainsaws, huh? Anyways, that's definitely enough for this video. Check you later.